All right, welcome back. Fox Sports salutes Veterans Day. Speak for yourself, presented by Hyundai. Whitlock and Wiley. LeVar Arrington is back. We're joined now by Fox NFL analyst TJ Houshmandzadeh. Time now for a big story. Let's move to Phillip Rivers, who threw away the Chargers' chances for a win last night, tossing 3 interceptions, including a pick 6 and having 2 more interceptions wiped out by Raiders penalties. There's been a lot of speculation that Rivers' run with the Chargers is ending, and one name that keeps popping up as a replacement possibly is Cam Newton, who is likely done in Carolina. Needless to say, Rivers looked like he's overstayed his welcome, with the quarterback suffering the most losses since 2015, with the second most interceptions and giveaways in that same period. I think Cam Newton makes a lot of sense for the Los Angeles Chargers in terms of box office and in terms of potential play on the field. A 31-year-old Cam Newton in Los Angeles, I think, could sell tickets and give them some hope of better quarterback play.
So that's your exit strategy right there, huh?
Cam?
Yeah. Get rid of an older declining quarterback to get another old declining quarterback. Oh,
he's 30.
31 when he gets on that field next time. Just stop he's trying to cut them numbers. That boy getting old, and we don't know what he is. Once again, I love Cam Newton. Once again, we have to look at the numbers. Cam Newton, in his last 8 ball games, you would think that Cam Newton has won at least one of them, and he has not. Cam Newton, by the numbers, in terms of completion percentage, yards an attempt, he has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, and his passer rating is 81. You can say he was hurt through all of that, but the conversation then goes to who is he post-injury? We always want to say, before the injury, he was an MVP candidate. Can someone declare who you are post-injury? Since we don't know that, I don't think this would be a good transition. And don't forget where he would land if he were an LA Charger. This is the 3rd generational family foundation organization. They treat their own like family, even though they will get rid of a player. LT, we all get it. Some of the greats. Phillip Rivers has not hit that threshold where then he doesn't get to borrow in on some of his equity. He's going to have a greater, softer exit strategy than displacing him with Cam Newton, who you have question marks about.
Oh, man, if you base it off of last night, 100% he'll be an upgrade. with the technology of today, Cam Newton's going to be healthy when he plays. The next time we see Cam Newton on the field, he will look like the Cam Newton that was a MVP candidate.
Oh, you believe that?
When you pretty much take an entire year off, you're going to come back ready to go. That's number one. The number 2 is look at the NFL now. There are very few non-mobile quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers is one of them. He can't move. You put pressure on Phillip Rivers, it's a sack or it's a pick.
Raiders had 5 sacks last night.
And you take away the penalties for just lining up off sides, there's more picks there. You look, if they don't address the offensive line, they have no choice but to move on from Phillip Rivers because he's a statue back there. He can't move. And he will be an unrestricted free agent after this year. What they gonna pay Phillip Rivers, $30 million? Or you trade for Cam Newton and pay him $20?
Well, since you looked at me with that pause, let's just talk about, I didn't know we was coming back. One, every big man in every sport, every doctor would tell you the greatest indicator of them declining is something happening to their feet. You go any sport, when a Liz Frank injury where you are not getting surgery, we're going to rehab it, and then the prognosis changes by the week, is scary. 2, it's not fair to look at Phillip Rivers in this game. In totality, I understand it since 2015, but this game, 2 backup offensive tackles. They were sacking him as soon as they said hut, because they were with the reserves. So Phillip Rivers, let's not forget who he was last year, leading his team to the playoffs. I just think it's a little too short-term, short-sighted to just say move.
But if you look at it, what are you paying Phillip Rivers next year? He's unrestricted. He's unrestricted. You're going to give him $30 million?
Great point.
Let him go.
What? I mean, he is a Hall of Famer for
who?
For the San Diego Chargers. He's a Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Didn't he play at NC State?
Yes,
I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He'd be up
for the Chargers?
Yes, I think he's at
gold jacket.
I think he's had a gold jacket career.
Yeah.
And I don't think it will.
Why?
I think his performances over the years would warrant that. If you look at it, if you go through his stat line.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Go ahead. Not a Hall of Famer. I love Phillip Rivers.
Maybe debatable.
Go ahead.
Another minute.
Go ahead.
It's debatable. Anyways, so when you look at it, if Cam is healthy, is he an upgrade? Yeah. Just purely from the player's standpoint, he probably is an upgrade in terms of from the health standpoint of it. But how long can he stay healthy?
Man.
That would be my biggest question, and that would be the biggest detracting factor in terms of if you're gonna bring him in. The second determining factor would be the leadership aspect of it. You'd have to believe that by now, Phillip Rivers, his leadership role, if he is indeed being brought back or looked at to be brought back at a reasonable price, do you really want to replace the leadership value? And keep in mind, he did have great success the year before.
Right.
So this season isn't over yet. It hasn't concluded. We don't know what the end result is. But do you look at what he was able to do, his body of work last season, and say, okay, we get rid of that based off of this season, bring in a guy that we didn't feel is good enough to even bring back in Carolina to be the starter with a guy that isn't even considered a franchise quarterback?
They got a new stadium.
Ooh.
They already are struggling building a brand here in Los Angeles. Ownership is we ain't going to London.
Damn right.
So they need some box office. And whether we like it or not, Cam would be great box office. People would go out on a Sunday, hey, let's see what Cam's going to do.
For how long?
Well,
for how long?
Long enough to sell some season tickets, 3 or 4 games. And if it goes longer than that, great.
But where are you basing that off of?
Yeah.
He hasn't played. Where are you basing it off of?
Put your money where your mouth is. And just last night, I went and bought my 4 season tickets to the LA Chargers' new stadium. Oh, you guys should go out there and do the same damn thing. And I'm going to tell you why. I did that with the mindset of I'm going to see Phillip Rivers, a franchise quarterback, a winning quarterback.
Former teammate.
No, I wasn't there. I was a cap casualty. They couldn't afford both of us.
Swan song.
But knowing that I have that stability in place. This is a guy who is 6 all-time in yards, 6 all-time in touchdown passes, and just before last night was leading the NFL in yards per game. So what are we?
Nobody's saying, at least I'm not saying
let's get this
Phillip
right.
Rivers can't play.
Okay, let's get this right.
You have to look, he's unrestricted. So now
like that point.
We got to spend money and beef up this offensive line. So now we got to bring in better linemen to protect him, and
you mean the
we
starters have to play?
And we
won 12 games last year, man. 12 games.
Is proud to partner with the Mission Continues, a nonprofit organization deploying military veterans and community leaders to build stronger communities across the nation. Visit www.missioncontinues.org to learn more.
For military men and women, the desire to serve is in their core. Yet when they come home, their potential remains untapped. We're building a movement of veterans and volunteers